Page 192, Pilgrim's Chorus. Here we have an example of a C clef. I don't think we've had any C clefs so far. Oh, well, here we go. Violas read C clef quite a bit. They can read treble clef or C clef, whatever they need. Hopefully you understand how C clef works, but just in case, the middle of the clef, whatever it is, because C clef can move around. Wherever the middle of the clef is, that's middle C. So here, it's like the middle line in the staff is middle C, here. So then the line below it is here and here. So it's centered around the area where most of the notes are for viola, so they don't have to read a lot of ledger lines. But they can go up higher, and when they do that, they usually then go into treble clef. Because that way it moves middle C on the staff down a fifth. And so all the notes are easier to read. And the idea is we're transposing. If you don't read the clef, if you don't play viola and you just know what the notes are, you're transposing. Different ways of doing it. Once I get started, I can use the notes themselves, and I can go up a second, down a second, up a third, down a third, whatever it is, and I can follow that way. You're not transposing the key, so we're still in G major. We're just moving the notes in the staff. So instead of this note, which if this were treble clef, this would be a C here. But in alto clef, which is what this is, middle C's in the middle line. That note is the space right above that, so it's one note up, so it's a D. And then from there I could use that. I go up a fourth, down a third, down a fourth, down a third. Remember, we're in G major, you gotta have F sharps here. Now, another way of transposing this is if you look at this note is a D, and if I were to pretend the clef sign were bass clef, then I'm taking every note down one, because in bass clef it'd be an E. I'm just playing it here, except I'm going an octave higher. So I'm just going down one note an octave higher. So instead of an A, it's a G. Instead of a C, it's a B. It's easier when they're only a step apart because you're next to it. And then instead of an F, it's an E. Instead of a B, it's an A. And that's another way of doing it. I can pretend the clef sign is either a bass clef or treble clef, because that's what I can read, and I can transpose the note mentally that way. There's different ways of learning to read alto clef. The most ideal way of doing it, if possible, if you're like going to be an orchestra conductor, just learn the notes in alto clef. Just learn what they are. Just know that's a D. Just another clef to learn, no big deal. And we got more to come, so it's just another way of doing it. But if you don't read alto clef very often, then you need to be able to figure out where the notes are and transpose as appropriate.